Hi, today I'm going to show you how to build this miniature hangar for your model airport. This is going to be hangar number 2. The first thing you need to do is to print out the PDF file that you got with your download. This file, you have to make sure you print it on both sides. And you print it in some sort of thick paper such as cardstock. Before we get started, there's a couple of things that I want you to know. First, these are the tools that you're going to need for this project. A sharp X-Acto knife, a pair of scissors, glue stick, some sort of all-purpose glue, tape, a metal ruler, and a cutting board. Next, I want to show you the difference between a score and a cut. On the file that you're going to get something like this, where you have solid lines for cuts and dotted lines for scores. When you make a cut, you want to line up both of the solid lines and make a cut. You put enough force to get the blade all the way through. When you're doing a score, same thing, you want to line up your dotted lines, but instead of a lot of force, you want to do a very light cut. You don't want it to go through the paper. What happens is when you want to make a corner, after you score it, you're going to get a very nice sharp corner. Hi, so we're ready to start cutting. What I like to do first is to do all my scores first. Again, a score is a light cut so that you can bend the paper. You don't want to go through the paper. The score lines are always dotted lines. So what you do is you find your dotted lines and you line up your ruler. You want to put the knife on one of the lines, put your ruler against it, and then line it up with the other line, and then make the score. In this case, we can probably go across because they both line up. So do a nice light score. So then for this flaps, we want to do the same thing. Here's one of my score lines, and there's my other score line for this flap. So do a light cut. Here's a score line, and here's a score line for that flap. So you see they all lined up. You just have to find the right lines. Make sure you line them up, and you do the light score. This score goes from here to here and from here to here. You don't want to score in front over here. So those are all the scores in this page. The next page gets a little tricky. We have what we call the back scores. This is because that fold is going to be on the opposite side. So the scoring has to be done on the back. To find the lines, what you do is you make an incision right around this line over here. Make sure that it cuts through the paper. Just a quick, basically some mark so you can find it on the other side. So you make a mark, and you make all your 4 marks. Now when you turn it over, you can see where the marks were made. So this is what you use to line up and make your score line. So there's only 2 score lines on this side of the paper. Then you turn the paper over. And then do the remaining score lines. This will become obvious once we start assembling the unit. Okay, so that's all the scoring. Let's go now to the cutting of the model. Okay, so let's start doing the cutting. In this case, we're looking for the solid lines. Those are the ones that are going to tell us where to do the solid cut. Again, line up your X-Acto knife, your blade, with the line over there, and then line up the line over here, and now you do make a cut. So that is the first part. Then on this side, you want to cut the front and the back. Over here we want to cut from here to the outside. And then we want to make the cuts for the tabs. Okay, so over here we have to make a cut here and a cut here. And a cut there. So then this part, it's easier to do it with the scissors. Just follow the outside. Then we cut that in there. So you want to cut the sides of the tabs. So that's your first part. I missed this corner here. Let's finish up this one. This one you have to go around the inside here. As before, let's make just a couple of cuts here. And let's finish up the tabs. Okay, so now we have all our parts, front, back, and roof. So the next step is going to be assembly. Okay, so let's do the final assembly. For the final assembly, we need some tape, we need glue stick, and we need our all-purpose adhesive. We start with the tape, take a little piece. We're going to put it on one of these guys. Let's put it in here. You can use your scissors to trim out the excess tape. And now we're going to take this part and join it with this part. Now we do the same thing on this side. We put in the tape, trim it out, and now we bend, and these two should line up. So that is going to give us the main form of the hanger. Next is to take the lips here, the tabs, and to bend them. Two on the side and the two on the top. This is why you do the score, so you can bend this without it falling off. Next, we take the roof. First we want to bend it this way, and now here comes the other bend that we were talking about, that bends outside. You see, that's how you get that form there. You bend that, and then you bend the other one See, that's why you have to make that special bend over there. And bend here, and bend here. So basically this is going to go in like that. So let's get started by putting some stick glue. I'd recommend you use a piece of paper for the glue because it can get a little messy. And then just glue that part of the wall. It can go either way, so it doesn't matter. So what we're going to do is glue this part to that part. So you want to line it up. You want to leave a little bit of a lip, about 1/4 inch. And then press in there. Next, you want to put glue on the tabs. These are the ones that are going to hold the roof to the rest of the structure. Put a couple little dabs of glue. Sorry about that. And then just move the ceiling in there and make sure that the tabs align. So what you want to do is you want to go down here, and as you see that, it all lines up. You can go on the inside and push on the tabs to make sure that you have good contact. And then you do the same on the other side. Remember, there should be a little bit of a lip here. And make sure they all make good contact. And then for the final step, I'm just going to put a little bit more glue on this side and then glue this panel to the sidewall. Put some pressure to make sure that everything glues together. And that's basically it. Now you have your hangar ready for your model airport.